Hello, everybody.
And welcome back to another episode of Mondays Are for the Nerds.
I am your host, Tristan Stump.
And I'm your co-host, Jay Wright, here to bring you another dose of your weekly recap of the culture news that happened this week. I got a lot. I got a weird amount of a lot.
Yes and no for me, I would say.
Yeah.
Especially in the game releases department where I'm like, well, there's a lot more because I'm like, we've gone through all the stuff I'm excited about.
Yeah.
But now there's some stuff from, except for one that we'll talk about this
Epic
week.
Mickey.
Yeah. And that
Next
one
week.
next week. And then Zelda. Like,
Yeah.
we've gone through most, like, we're getting to where it's like, okay, just a couple more. But there's
Yeah.
been ones where I'm like, I didn't know about that.
Oh, yeah. But
Yeah.
for now, did you do anything this week?
Well, I told you about the one thing because
Yeah.
it was such a lengthy discussion. I didn't want to include it in the actual episode.
Yeah.
That and spoilers for a show that only just ended like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
I played a little more Funko Fusion before realizing, and then we'll talk about it later. I played like 15 minutes of Plucky Squire before realizing I need to get my computer upgraded because the fan was just going on so loud, and my
You're like,
computer
I'm going to break
was,
this thing.
Yeah. Well, there was one point where the screen blacked out for a little bit. I'm like, okay, yep, nope, we're not going to play this anymore. So,
Jeez.
and I found with Funko Fusion that if I lower the graphics quality, obviously that's going to make it easier to run. You know, lower the settings on the game. But for some odd reason, Funko's decision to lower the graphics was to just make the game darker, like less light boxes and stuff were added. So every final level in I beat Umbrella Academy and Scott Pilgrim, and both their final levels were indoors, and I could not see a thing on the low level. Like, I managed to beat it for Scott Pilgrim, but I actually had to raise my graphics setting just so I could beat the level for Umbrella Academy. And now I'm playing through the Thing, which mostly takes place at night.
I was going to say, that's like dark.
And so I am taking a break until I can get my graphics card on my computer figured out, because I don't know why just lowering the the actual graphics isn't it's hindering my gameplay experience. And it's already a game that I'm having a turbulent relationship with.
Yeah.
Which you've played it a little bit.
Yeah. It finally came in. When did it come in? Wednesday, I think. And I got to play it a little bit Thursday and a little bit Friday. It's all right.
Yeah, right?
It's not like I started on the Jurassic World because Chris Pratt.
Yeah. It's also the first one they present to you to pick. So
yeah, I looked through all seven. I'm like, I'll probably start with Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Just start with Chris Pratt.
Although I will say, Scott Pilgrim being first was also great because it wasn't as enemy heavy as the other ones have been. So
yeah, it's fun. I like it better than I like Star Wars Outlaws. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But also, I'm also a big dialogue guy, and then there's no dialogue in this.
Oh yeah, they're
except for spoken dialogue.
Yeah.
You can read stuff, but I'm like, sometimes I'm like, oh, man,
it's also a game that I
boring.
think assumes you know the plot of what you're playing. Because like I know nothing about Umbrella Academy, and the only reason I kind of knew what was going, not that they don't have animations that convey, because it's very old school Lego.
Yeah.
Where there's no
you
dialogue.
go to a certain point, and then there's
But Umbrella Academy especially, I was like, I only know what's going on because I read the synopsis. And with The Thing, I'm like, I've watched The Thing. The only reason I know what's going on is because I've watched The Thing.
Yeah.
Same with Scott Pilgrim, where I'm like, man,
Jurassic World, it's like a little bit. It starts out in like the first Jurassic World, but then like you wind up in like the third level, and it's like Dominion, or second even level. You're like in the Dominion era, and it's like, okay, we just skipped
5 levels, so you're skipping right to.
But like for some reason, Maisie, the little girl, is in the first one, and like you have to go rescue her, and she's like the first 3 at least. That's as far as I've gotten, as the first 3. But like, and she's not in there till number 2, and she's not with Owen and Claire until number 3.
What I've noticed is every franchise gives you 4 characters to play as, and everyone else is an NPC except for the final boss of every world is the unlockable 5th character.
Yeah.
Everyone else is just an NPC, which is kind of fine, but I'm also like, you have these models that you made. It's not like the Lego games where it's like, oh, well, random NPC isn't playable, which makes sense. It's like I'm torn on because I know Five Nights at Freddy. I haven't found it yet. It's a secret level, but Five Nights at Freddy's, you only get to play as Freddy and Foxy. You don't get Chica and Bonnie. You have all 4 of them there, and it's like, why?
Yeah.
Jaws, I get. I don't know if there's a Jaws character you play as or not. There's the 2 main characters that you would probably play.
The Lego
as.
set came with 3, but I thought there was just 2.
And then maybe if you, because I will tell you now, you unlock the Velociraptor as
blue.
I think is
it beta?
Beta or blue? I think that's the one you unlock. Either that or
Beta's the baby one.
You unlock a dinosaur.
Okay.
Who's the final boss of the world of the. And
the one that the dudes
the way they fight is they have little grab hands, dinosaur grab hands.
I noticed that the Omar Sy's character, his weapon is like, I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, this is fun, but I'm like,
So the dinosaur has 2 grab hands because its arms are so short. Yeah, it has 2 grab hands.
I love that.
To be. So it's like that's pretty. There's funny things like I said, the game is. I gave it a 7 out of 10 last week.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, I don't hate it, but there's a lot of things where some of it's my computer and some of it's also the fact that they just didn't well optimize it.
Yeah.
Which this is this team's first game, and some of them were veterans, but a lot of people it was their first time making a game, and so or first time making a game to this level at least. And so I give it a little bit of a slide, but then there's some things where it's like you didn't have online multiplayer ready at launch.
And one of my complaints is what you said, the spawning of the bad guys.
Way too frequent.
In Jurassic World. It's not like frequent as much as I thought it'd be, like you described, but I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like
the worst so far for me, like
especially if they're shooting guns.
Scott Pilgrim and Umbrella Academy wasn't so bad, except for the last level Umbrella Academy, which you're a completionist. I know you're going to get to it. Get to it at some point. You'll know what I'm talking about when I say that the last level was frustrating. But those weren't so bad. But the thing is the same as it was in the demo, where there is just a thing going around spawning enemies. It's the first level, the helicopter.
Yeah.
So the helicopter.
I actually haven't seen the thing.
You haven't seen the thing?
No.
It begins with a helicopter shooting, like going after this husky and like trying to shoot it. And they manage to like rescue the husky, not knowing it's been infected by the thing. Yeah. And so the first level is expanding upon. It's the Lego game thing of taking a tiny part and turning into a whole level. So that's a whole level of getting the huskies inside and dodging the helicopter. And you can shoot the helicopter and get it to go away for a little bit, but to do that first, you have to get rid of all the like 15 enemies they've spawned when you're.
Oh yeah.
I find myself in levels like that. I just switch to the character. Every franchise seems to have a character that has a shield instead of a dodge.
That's Omar Sy in Jurassic World. I'm like the third level. You're the boss of that is like, or you're the boss is the Giganotosaurus.
Okay.
And it's where you have to like shoot the eyes of it. Follows you, so you gotta wait till it turns your head, and it's also like doing that. And then you got like raptors, and then like I think Pyroraptors, whatever the feathered one is from Dominion, coming at you. And then also every time it stomps, you gotta like jump over the thing. And then you gotta like shoot its stomach after you blow its eyes out, and I'm like, it's always moving, and I'm like,
yeah, the dog, because the dog eventually does turn into a thing in the movie, and so that's the first boss of it's the second level, it's the first boss of the thing. It took me forever to figure out how to beat because I'm like, well, they're weak to fire in the movie, so I'll just get the character with a flamethrower, and it wasn't doing anything. I'm like, what? And so there were weak spots that I couldn't even tell what they were. I was just shooting at random, like, oh, I guess that was a weak spot.
Yeah.
And the game also doesn't tell you, hey, go do this sometimes, and so.
It has the little thing in the corner where it's like, this is what you need to do.
And sometimes has it not updated right for you sometimes?
Sometimes I'll like die and I'll like revive myself and I'll still see that. But every time I hit like the touchpad and it fixes itself. But it doesn't, I feel like it should auto update.
Yeah. We've been talking about this for 10 minutes. Anyway, so I did that, and then I played 15 minutes of Plucky Squire, and I liked the 15 minutes I played. I just, I couldn't get into it because my computer felt like it was about to blow up.
Yeah.
But other than that, I watched a TV show that I told you about last week. I finished it and then worked. And that's what I did this week. How about you? You do anything?
I did actually quite a bit of things. A lot of it I'll get to later on with various times. I did finish. I got back into Legos.
Okay.
I finished Jaws.
Cool.
And so it means I'm watching some more Cheers. And then I started the Bat Cycle tonight.
Okay.
And I quickly remembered there's a reason I don't do a lot of Technic sets. Because bag 1 was 3 different bags, and it's tiny pieces. And had I not known that I was making a motorcycle, I would not know what the crap I was doing.
Oh yeah, there was.
And it's still sitting on my table unfinished with like 3 different piles of the bags, just like kind of.
There's a lot of tiny parts to the Batmobile because there's
Oh yeah.
because the back wheels,
the Batman one or like the Tumbler.
the animated series one.
Oh, animated series one.
The back wheels spin this flame that comes out of the back.
Mm-hmm.
And so to make that was a whole thing where I had to like carefully get these 2 gear pieces and like keep them steady and put in another thing.
Oh, dude, I got to a point where I realized that I needed to attach this big part to this somewhat big part, but it was a bunch of like long parts that I just made, and I realized I had done the opposite of what I needed to do. And I was 48 steps in, and that opposite thing what I needed to do was step 1. I built off it backwards.
I did that with the Batmobile, but luckily it was just I was like, I have this extra piece. Where does it go? And I realized, oh, I just forgot to put it on the front bumper.
Yeah. So, mine was a somewhat easy fix, but I had to like push the 2. It was like one of those things with like 5 holes, the bars. Yeah. And it's like 2 long crossbars that went through a bunch, but it went through probably 8 to 12 crossbar holes. And I'm like, I could see it. The part I needed to stick out the end was sticking out up here. I need to stick out up here. It was an easy fix, but I had to get those things through there. And I was like, my brick separator can only do so much, and I can only pull so much. And I was like denting the brick separator, and I'm like, but I finally got it fixed. I took it out and I put it back in, and then I went to put it on. I'm like, this isn't straight up. And I just put it back in the way I just had it. And I'm like, are you?
Yeah,
but I got it fixed.
Nothing sucks more than getting like 20 steps deep into a Lego set and be like, why is it lopsided? And then you realize you used a 1 too long piece in like step 3, and you have to take the whole thing apart again.
People who like regularly do Technics are like noobs.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, listen, this is my first Technic in a while, and I bought it because it was $27 at Walmart.
Yeah, and my Lego sets are few and far between because I usually just get the big stuff, which is a problem for shelf space.
Yeah.
But, you know,
same. I mean, I got a backlog.
Well, yeah, you sent me the picture of your TV where I was like, oh, I was wondering where you put the Horizon set.
So I had it sitting up on top of the counter on top of the shelf with the Infinity Gauntlet and with, I think, the Disney camera next to the Coliseum, and I'm like, I need a place to put Jaws.
So
I moved that down there next to my PlayStation, which fits.
Yeah,
honestly.
It'll see. To me, I thought because it's PlayStation theme, but
and I put the other stuff, and now Jaws is sitting up there. But
I have Central Perk and Seinfeld's apartment in my room. I'm trying to think if there's another one. I also have a Luke's X-Wing that's sitting on one corner, and then my Batmobile has just been sitting on my coffee table, kind of in the way, but I don't have anywhere else to put it.
Right.
And then I have the James Bond car.
Yes, the big one?
No, the small one that came with the minifigure.
The big and the small ones, and they're like right next to each other.
Anyway, it's on a bookshelf, and then I have the Up House is sitting on top.
I want that one so bad.
It's been on clearance at Walmart for a while. It's like $50 or something like that.
I can't get any more Legos. I already have so much back stuff.
But it is sitting on top of my desk, and then I have the flying scene from Peter Pan on one corner of my desk. All my Looney Tunes and Muppets minifigures were there. They're all like just kind of scattered because I was like, I just need to put this here, and I haven't been able to fix it. And then my friend's apartment set is on top of my grandpa's old safe in our hallway with the Disney camera just kind of set behind it. But the Disney camera diagram was in my room, and then you saw it happen. Then you saw it happen to it because it got blown over by the wind.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how that happened because it's
not kind of light. But.
Yeah. Anyway, so it is now sitting next to Seinfeld's stand-up thing on my desk in front of some other minifigures.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we can't talk about how much space I take up because I have too much, and I still need to find room for Simba, Dune Ornithopter, and the Batman animated series landscape, and I have Sauron, which I don't know where I'm going to put.
The animated series landscape, at least you're going to be able to hang it on a wall.
Well, that's the thing. I also have that 3D Spider-Man, and I'm scared of hanging on the wall because I don't want it. We hung the Spider-Man on the wall next to our door, and then that door sometimes gets slammed because it's really easy to slam it, and like we didn't even shut the door, and it was like, and it goes poof, and like tilted a little bit, and like the corner of it hit like the door frame, and I'm like, nope, taking this down. And it's sitting on the floor in my room right now where I'm like, I'm just afraid to like hang it up anywhere, but I can't because its fingers touch the ground. Anyway, so much Legos.
Yeah.
I also watched Agatha All Along, the first 2 episodes. I won't say much about it because we've already spent way too much time on more Legos.
Yeah.
But it's all right.
It's all right. Yeah, I've heard it's all right. There's people.
It's not bad. It's fine. Aubrey Plaza, scene stealer. She always is.
Oh yeah.
She always is.
Yeah.
I never knew she would be. The song, I didn't care for it at first.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care for it, meaning it was fine. Wasn't like the best thing I've heard.
It's no Agatha. It's no Agatha
all along. But then the more I see it on TikTok, I'm like, actually, I kind of like this because Patti LuPone belts it at one point, and I'm like, and I'm liking it. I'm enjoying it. I'll watch it obviously because it's Marvel, and I'm a sucker for Marvel.
Yeah.
But
because you know that I have not watched Werewolf by Night yet.
that is so good.
There's some Marvel
That is
stuff.
so good. Watch the black and white. I haven't seen the one in color. Watch the black and white one.
Oh yeah, it was made to be in black and white. I'm going to watch it in black and white. But there's so many Disney. I think I've talked about it before. There's a lot of Disney Plus things I'm behind on just because I get so much. I mean, I just watched a 36 episode show in 3 days, so like there's just things I get caught up watching other things.
That's what I did this week. Should we get to my releases?
Yes, sir.
All right. In theaters this week on Friday, September 20th, we got the re-release of Whiplash. We got the limited release of Wolves, George Clooney and Brad Pitt's new movie. Hired to cover up a high-profile crime, a fixer soon finds his night spiraling out of control when he's forced to work with an unexpected counterpart. We got the limited release of The Substance. Elizabeth Sparkle, renowned for her aerobatic show, faces a devastating blow on her 50th birthday as her boss fires her. Amid her distress, a laboratory offers her a substance which promises to transform her into an enhanced version of herself. Then on Saturday, September 21st, and I believe on the 23rd as well, released in theaters the Christopher Reeve documentary, Superman, the Christopher Reeve story. Actor Christopher Reeve rises to stardom when he lands the role of Superman in the 1970s. When a horse riding accident leaves him paralyzed in 1995, Reeve spends the rest of his life searching for a cure for spinal cord injuries. And streaming on Tuesday, September 17th, we got the premiere of the documentary Child Star on Hulu. Examine how some of the most well-known former child stars, such as Demi Lovato, who directed it, deconstruct the highs and lows of growing up in the spotlight and how their ascension to fame, riches, and power affects their futures. We also got the Netflix release of His Three Daughters on Friday, September 20th. When their father's health worsens, 3 strange sisters come together to try to plan for the inevitable. I want to see that's on my list. And the big release this week in theaters on Friday, September 20th was Transformers 1, the animated prequel set, 3 billion years before the live action ones?
3 billion?
It's either 3 billion or 3 million. I saw it Thursday. Loved it.
Loved it. I've
loved it.
A lot of good things about it. I wish it was doing better in the box office.
I do too. And I got some numbers later for the box office for at least its opening day.
But the thing is, though, opening weekend doesn't mean, if we've learned anything about Inside Out and Puss in Boots.
Oh, you mean Inside Out beating Harold and the Purple Crayon on its opening weekend when Inside Out was on its 8th weekend? Yeah.
But if there's anything we've learned about animated movies that managed to stay in theaters for a long time, who owns this movie? Paramount? Oh, they're going to pull it quick then.
Yeah. Also with a lot of October stuff coming out.
Yeah. If there's anything we've learned about movies being in theaters for a while is that they will eventually catch on. I mean, Puss in Boots and Last Wish was like...
So good,
but you didn't hear anything about it until the third week.
I loved it. I've said multiple times, and I've told you multiple times, I've told everyone multiple times. Chris Hemsworth said he didn't try to do a Peter Cullen impression. My goodness, some of those lines, it sounds exactly like a young Peter Cullen, or like how you think a young Optimus Prime would.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, oh, it's so good. Brian Tyree Henry as D-17, which later becomes Megatron. I kind of said this in my review I posted online. I was wondering, and we were both wondering, how it would lead to their, not betrayal, but how they became, because they're best friends.
How they become
enemies, mortal enemies.
To the point of, no return enemies.
Yeah, we were both, questioning how it would go in one movie, which is only, an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
From being best friends to being the point of no return enemies. It is laced throughout where I was like, this is very well done. Mm-hmm. And by the end, I was like, okay, I could see this. His motive, and I was like, I love this, and I definitely see it, and it doesn't feel rushed.
Yeah.
And the action is so good. I've
heard that even though the first trailer is really good, I've heard the first trailer does not do the movie justice.
No. And I love the first trailer, and I've heard people were like, when they saw the trailer, like, oh, it's gonna be garbage.
People are so jaded about animated movies that the first trailer, they're usually, I think Dogman has been the first trailer where people have been like, you know what, actually?
Yeah, exactly.
Which I know we'll talk about later because you got that in your.
Yeah.
But
Transformers 1 is so good. I know you're seeing it tomorrow.
Yeah, we're seeing it tomorrow, yeah.
On my TV side, Sunday, September 15th, we got the season 2 premiere of Tulsa King on Paramount Plus. Tuesday, September 17th, we got the season 33 premiere of Dancing with the Stars on ABC and Disney Plus, as well as the 2 episodes premiere of American Sports Story Aaron Hernandez on FX, next day on Hulu. Wednesday, September 18th, saw the season 47 premiere of Survivor, the series premiere of The Golden Bachelorette on ABC, and the 2-episode series premiere of Agatha All Along on Disney Plus. Thursday, September 19th, we got the series premiere of The Penguin on HBO. More on that later. Season 2 of Frasier, series premiere of A Very Royal Scandal on Amazon Prime Video. The season 1 drop of Twilight of the Gods on Netflix, and we got the new season of the anthology series Monster. It's called Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story. I watched the first 2 episodes. If people who don't know, it's the true crime. Menendez brothers murdered their parents. I watched the first 2 episodes. The acting is amazing, especially from Eric and Lyle. Mm-hmm. Fun fact, I saw a clip from an interview he did on the carpet where the guy who plays Lyle, he didn't know about this story until after he got the audition. I was like, and he's like American. I'm like, how do you not know about Eric and Lyle? I knew it 10 years ago, and I was like 14. Like, how do you not know about the Menendez brothers?
Be like people, what was it? The thing is, though, I know about these things. I could never tell you their names until someone brought them up. But the Melissa McCarthy movie that's being made.
Which one?
About the parents and their daughter's kidnapping or murder or whatever.
John Benet Ramsey. It's like
that where it's like, how do you not know about that story?
Exactly.
Or the this isn't true crime. I mean, it sort of is, but the weather balloon kid.
Oh no!
Or it's one of those things where it's like, how do you not know? Were you living under a rock?
I don't know about Balloon Boy.
Yeah.
And music news, no music news this week, but I was able to get tickets to Dua Lipa in Chicago.
I am looking forward to the
next week.
To next week.
Next week's music.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If we somehow got any fans in Chicago that'll be going to Dua Lipa night 1, hit me up.
Yeah.
At PolarPanda001 on Twitter.
On my gaming releases, September 16th, we had Judero on PC from Kala and Jack Co. Judero is an action-adventure game inspired by the rich folk history of the Scottish borders. You play as Judero, a Celt who can establish a rapport with the nature around him. Travel with Judero through a handcrafted landscape as he discovers there is an evil at work manipulating the unguarded. It is claymation.
Ooh.
It's like stop motion. The characters are all, and it's an action game. Usually most stop motion games are point and click adventure games or something like that. This is an action game.
I like that.
I'm gonna have to check this out.
Was it on?
It is on PC. Also on September 16th was Fairy Tale Beach Volleyball Havoc on PC from Tiny Cactus Studio, Masuda Taro, and Very OK, and publisher Kodansha. The cast of Fairy Tale is ready to bring mayhem to the summertime beaches. Unleash over-the-top magic to blast that volleyball. And it's like retro graphics kind of.
Yeah.
September 17th was the release of Key Locker on all major platforms from developer Moonana and publisher Serenity Forge. In a silent world where music is outlawed, play as a singer to shatter the strings of fate and sing the melody of freedom in this unforgiving turn-based rhythm RPG. Marco Beyond Grave on PC from Studio Mecha. Marco Beyond Grave is an action-packed Metroidvania adventure. Wander through lush forests and crumbling castles beyond battle corrupted creatures and escape intricate traps, jump, slash, and shoot your way through challenging foes and mighty bosses inspired by Slavic myths and legends. We also got Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, Mask of Darkness DLC on all major platforms. And finally, on September 17th, we had The Plucky Squire on PC, Switch, PS5, and Xbox from All Possible Futures and publisher Devolver Digital. Storybook characters discover a three-dimensional world outside the pages of their book and must jump between 2D and 3D realms to save their friends in this charming action adventure. I believe the name of what's the name of the villain? His name is something like, it's something close to Dr. Nefarious, where it's like, an evil name. Yeah. He discovers he's the villain of the book and is like, what the heck? So he tries to like scramble the story and it goes from there. Very pretty looking game. It's narrated in such a way that it sounds like someone reading a children's book. Like I would say it almost kind of sounds like the narrator in the Winnie the Pooh movies.
Oh, yeah.
And so there's almost something, even though you're playing this like, oh, I gotta fight this thing. And it's like something also very calming about it, where it's like, and then they went into the forest. And it's like, there's something very nostalgic about it. Yeah. Especially because you open and there's the first quest of the game. And this is in the trailer, but you go to your wizard friend, and he's at a DJ booth. He's doing this, and he's like, "Oh, my friend, I am currently discovering new dimensions of music, or new dimensions of beats, or something like that. I need you to go get beeswax so I can make more vinyls to unlock more music." And so you go and you talk to a bee to get more wax from him, but to do that, you have to fight a honey badger in a boxing match.
I love this.
And so instead of a Zelda game, it suddenly turns into Punch-Out. And so you have to... because the honey on the honey badger's hands have turned into boxing. Anyway. That much creativity in the first 15 minutes. I can't wait to see the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So, but moving on, September 18th, we also had Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster on PS5, PC, and Xbox from Capcom. Dead Rising returns with modern graphics. More than just a remaster, this deluxe remaster is a full graphical overhaul of the first game and zombie slaughtering action game series Dead Rising. This remaster has also been fully voiced, supports autosaves, and has various other quality of life features. Witness the unmatched mayhem and freedom for yourself. UFO 50 on PC from Mossmouth also came out September 18th. UFO 50 is a collection of 50 single and multiplayer games that span a variety of genres, from platformers and shoot-'em-ups to puzzle games, roguelikes, and RPGs. Our goal is to combine a familiar 8-bit aesthetic with new ideas and modern game design. On September 19th, we had Broken Sword Shadow of the Templars Reforged on PC, PS5, and Xbox. A Switch release is planned for October. A remastered release of the 1996 point-and-click classic. And finally, on September 20th, we had Karate Kid Street Rumble on all major platforms from developer Oda-Click Game Studio and publisher Game Mill Entertainment. Dominate the dojo in the Karate Kid Street Rumble, a pixel art beat-em-up adventure. Grab your friends for local co-op and dive into the classic Karate Kid journey with retro-style gameplay, dynamic combat, and epic boss battles.
Got some posters for Here, Dogman, Small Things Like These, the 20th anniversary unrated re-release of Saw, Heretic, Dune Prophecy, Den of Thieves 2, Pantera, Squid Game Season 2, Nosferatu, Killer Heat, The Apprentice, and Like a Dragon, Yakuza all got new posters. In terms of trailers, we got a trailer for Wolf King releasing in 2025 on Netflix. New trailer for Woman of the Hour releasing October 18th on Netflix. The final trailer released for Transformers 1. First trailer for Dogman releasing January 31st. More on that later. Got the new trailer for Brothers releasing October 17th on Amazon Prime Video. More on that later. We got the first trailer for Small Things Like These releasing November 8th in theaters. New trailer for Mickey 17 releasing January 31st in theaters. The new trailer for The Office Australian Reboot releasing October 18th on Amazon Prime Video. New trailer for Mr. Crockett releasing October 11th on Hulu. New trailer for Blitz releasing November 22nd on Apple TV+. Heretic releasing November 8th in theaters. Sweet Pea releasing October 10th on Starz. A new teaser for Black Mirror Season 7 releasing in 2025 on Netflix. Den of Thieves 2 Pantera releasing January 10th in theaters. A Toph reveal teaser for Avatar The Last Airbender Season 2 with a to be determined release date on Netflix, I think next year. Trailer for Splinter Cell animated series coming out on Netflix, TBD. Arcane Season 2 releasing in November on Netflix. Don't Move releasing on October 25th on Netflix. Squid Game Season 2 releasing December 26th on Netflix. And the new Devil May Cry series releasing animated series releasing April 2025 on Netflix. And release dates, Friendship, A24 has acquired the rights to release the Tim Robinson/Paul Rudd comedy. The film follows a man who lives a normal life, but when a weatherman moves into the neighborhood, he becomes obsessed to be his friend. The Bear Season 4, John Landgraf reveals Season 4 will be ready for a summer 2025 release, which means the show will have had 4 seasons in 4 years and not on network TV. The Last of Us Season 2 will officially release in the first half of 2025. It's expected to release in the Emmy window, which is sometime before late May. And Arcane Season 2 will release in 3 parts. Part 1 releasing November 9th, Part 2 the next week on November 16th, and Part 3 on the following week on November 23rd.
You know, that's an excuse not to pay people as much by splitting seasons into 3.
I don't like that they've split seasons.
Because they're not treated.
that.
Because they're not actually money-wise. They're not treated as separate seasons. So
Yeah.
it's like
In terms of casting, the Marty Reisman ping pong biopic, Tyler the Creator, and Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank have been cast. Coleman Domingo is in talks to star in Steven Spielberg's UFO movie. Monster, the Ed Gein story, the third season in the anthology series. Charlie Hunnam will star as notorious serial killer Ed Gein. In the live-action Matchbox movie, John Cena will star, with Sam Hargrave, who directed Extraction, directing. Saturday Night Live released its first 5 episodes lineups. Did you see this?
yes.
For season 50. We're in the 50th season. There's a special coming out, I believe, in February.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Host and musical guest for the first 5 episodes. Gene Smart will kick off this 50th season next Saturday, a week from today, as of recording, with musical guest Jelly Roll. October 5th, we'll see Nate Bargatze return for his second hosting gig with musical guest Coldplay. October 12th, they're going to get The Wicked in there. Ariana Grande host with musical guest Stevie Nicks. Michael Keaton will host on October 19th with musical guest Billie Eilish, which this is going to be the Halloween episode.
Michael Keaton and Billie Eilish on Halloween. That's going to be, yeah.
It's October, but like the next episode is November 2nd with John Mulaney hosting with musical guest Chappell Roan. Black Mirror Season 7, they released the cast. Issa Rae, Awkwafina, Emma Corrin, Kristen Milioti, Paul Giamatti, Peter Capaldi, Chris O'Dowd, Rashida Jones, Billy Magnuson, and Tracy Ellis Ross are going to be in Black Mirror Season 7. In the Conjuring sequel, the final Conjuring film, Ben Hardy has been cast. Ready or Not 2, Samara Weaving confirms she is returning. And then they announced the cast of Toph and Avatar The Last Airbender Season 2 as Mia Cech. C-E-C-H. I apologize for butchering that. And then Katie Lung, you know her from Harry Potter, has been cast in Bridgerton Season 4, which is its second week in a row on the pod.
Some miscellaneous gaming news. Developer Pado Labs has announced Starlight Revolver, a roguelite online multiplayer magical girl game, so like Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Launching on PC in 2025. Lion Code Games revealed Wild Keepers Rising, a roguelite RPG. Get ready to hear roguelike and roguelite a lot. RPG with bullet heaven and creature collecting mechanics coming soon to PC. I don't know the difference between bullet heaven and bullet hell, to be honest. The next game, those are two different gaming terms. I do not know the difference.
Yeah.
The next game in the My Time RPG series, My Time at Evershine, has been announced. The game features a new art style for this series and a revamped gameplay mechanics, alongside a diverse cast of characters for players to romance and 40-plus hours of story. The game is planned for release on PC, Xbox, and PS5. A Kickstarter campaign for the game launches September 24th. A remastered re-release of the 2014 PS Vita game Freedom Wars, titled Freedom Wars Remastered, has been announced for PC, Switch, and PlayStation. Releases January 10th, 2025. Upcoming G.I. Joe beat-em up Wrath of Cobra has confirmed a release date of September 26th on Steam. Release dates for Xbox, PlayStation, and other PC storefronts will come at a later date. Rivals of Aether 2 officially releases on PC October 23rd, 2024. Nintendo and Pokemon Company are suing the creators of Palworld for patent infringement.
We kind of saw that coming.
Yeah, absolutely. A 30th anniversary edition of the digital-only PS5 and PS5 Pro, alongside DualSense controllers, which are being sold separately, were announced by PlayStation. Themed around the original PlayStation, the gray consoles and remotes launched September 21st, 2024. Looks so good.
Oh, yeah.
The remotes do. The consoles are digital only, so I'm not remotely interested. But the
remotes, yeah.
But remote-wise, if I might have to be like, I wonder if I can get that to work with my PC. I know you can.
Right.
You can get stuff to make it work with your PC. But if I get it, it's not going to be working for a PS5 for a while, because who knows when I'm actually going to get one. Because the next thing I'm buying is whatever the Switch 2 is.
Yeah.
But yeah, looked pretty cool. Weren't we just talking about wishing there was one, or maybe that was something I saw? The PS5 would look so much better if it was gray like the PS1 or something like that.
I don't remember. I don't think you said that to me.
No, that might have been with someone else.
Yeah.
I talk a lot. September 19th.
Same. Hence why we have a podcast.
September 19th, a 6-1 indie showcase was held. Some highlights include Ikeum. I don't know if I pronounced that right. A Bollywood-inspired RPG with turn-based dance battles comes to PS5, Xbox, and PC at a later date.
Which reminds me of Polite Society, the movie.
It looks so good. I'm just like, that looks hilarious. Like, dance battles as an RPG is just... And there's like quick time events in it too.
Yeah. This feels like this is something Schmidt would come up with from New Girl.
Pyrofawn, a cute adventure game about a tiny flame creature who helps those who reside in a forest, coming to PC at a later date. Looked cute. DLC for Rain World titled The Watcher releases March 28th, 2025. A first-person shooter game painted in blood about being trapped in the twisted nightmares of an artist releases on PC at a later date. And finally, Clever Girls, a dinosaur exploration RPG about raising your dinosaur stats by having them date each other, comes to PC at a later date.
Sorry.
It is.
It caught me off guard.
Yeah, at first I thought, oh, is this dating the
World?
dinosaurs? But no, you're having the dinosaurs like date like
each other.
There's romance drama that happens, and then you just go into a 3D world and you explore, and you're like, oh look, there's a camp of humans. Let's go fight them. Like it is. The T-Rex's name is Daisy.
So perfect though.
I immediately it's on. Unfortunately, it's like PC only. I'm like, we got to get Jay to play this game somehow. 'Cause this it sounds like a J game. A new Like a Dragon game, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, was announced from Sega for a February 28th, 2025 release on all major platforms except Switch. Nintendo released Battletoads Double Dragon, Big Run, Cosmo Gang Puzzle, and Kunio-kun no Dodgeball Daiyosinen Shugo on the SNES app for Nintendo Switch Online on September 17th. Creepy Cute point-and-click game Prim, about Death's daughter, has announced a release date of October 24th, 2024. The game boasts a Tim Burton-inspired art style. Microsoft will no longer support Minecraft on PSVR after March of 2025. And finally, regular updates for Splatoon 3 have officially ended after the final big Splatfest, which included in-game performances by all three idol groups from the past 3 games on September 15th after 2 years of support. Which I tweeted about this. It would be this means that it will now be going for the first time in a while without any Splatoon anything going on. Like yes, the game 2 and 3 are still like you can go play them.
Yeah.
But no regular updates to any of them are happening. So it'll be interesting to see because we haven't gone. There might have been a short gap between 2 and 3, and definitely between 1 and 2. But there's been something Splatoon at least going on for no longer than like a few months since 2013 when the first one came out. So it'll be interesting. I think Splatoon 4 would make a good launch title alongside like a Mario game or something for the next Switch.
Yeah.
Especially because Splatoon is such a big thing for them.
And new looks, we got a new look at Woman of the Hour. As we previously said, a new clip was released of The Wild Robot. We got a new look at Shadow from Sonic the Hedgehog 3. We got a new look at Dogman.
Dude.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Underpants. Dave Pilkey, just as in general.
It's so good.
Just if he is probably one of my,
he's a god among middle schoolers.
Like I forget how much of an influence he had on me as an artist until like something about like Captain Underpants or Dogman or something comes up. Dogman was the tail end of me reading his stuff because like I think the first 2 came out when I was in middle school, maybe high school. I can't remember.
Yeah,
I didn't care that I was like a freshman in high school still reading Captain Underpants. I didn't care. I went and saw the movie when it came out in 2017.
Did we see it together?
We did not get to. We were going to, but I ended up going and watching it either by myself or with my dad. I can't remember.
So good.
I saw it for my birthday. My mom has a story she likes to tell where my profile picture on Facebook for the longest time was me wearing a tiny little Captain Underpants
I've
cape.
seen that picture.
Because when I bought it on DVD, which the Blu-ray box got cracked at first, I don't know how. I'm so sad. The disc is fine, but anyway, it came with a Captain Underpants cape meant for
children,
like 6 and up, I think is what it said. I said, "Mom, it says the cape is for 6 and up. I'm 6 and up."
You're like what, 14, 15?
I'm 17.
17.
So 17. There's a picture of 17-year-old Tristan just wearing Captain Underpants cape, just like doing the Superman pose.
That movie is so good.
So good. And the TV show on Netflix was fine. I was kind of sad it never got a sequel, especially because I thought a sequel was being teased.
We've talked about this on the pod. You got a whole slew of villains to choose from.
Yeah, and Wedgie Woman would be a great one to see happen.
Wedgie Woman, you got and then later on you got the time travel.
Yeah, later time we got time travel. I mean, Melvin, was that his name?
Exactly? Yeah,
he gets turned into a monster at some point. And in the books,
you got the talking toilet.
Yeah, the talking toilet's teased at the end of the first book. Yeah. You got the mob boss from the baby themed mob boss from the first book.
Exactly.
Obviously, Poopy Pants was the one to include because if you're gonna make a Captain Underpants movie, then
I think it's Dr. Diaper.
Yeah, Dr. Diaper. That might have been his name.
But Dogman looks. You got the voices of Pete Davidson.
Yep.
He's voicing Petey the cat.
Petey the cat.
You got Lil Rel Howery voicing the chief, Isla Fisher, and then what was the other one?
Ricky Gervais is the fish.
The fish, that's right.
Dogman, I know, and I know like there's a lot of like one of my favorite jokes in Dogman is Petey the cat. Like, if one more stupid thing happens, I'm gonna lose it. And then this guy goes by, like with a carriage, and the horse is like the one driving it, and then there's a man kissing a bag of trash, and it says "just married," and Petey just looks and then looks at, like just blankly at the reader. It's so funny. That entire book series, like I've only read the first 2 books, but the bits and pieces I've seen of other books and stuff after that, it's just, and
the puns and the titles is just like there's Fetch 22.
And there's one
Tale of Two Kitties.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's Garfield movie.
It might have been
Tale of Two Kitties. Anyway,
there's one I can't remember where it's a Wuthering Heights pun.
Exactly.
Comes out in January, you said?
Into January 31st.
January 31st.
Yep. We got a new look at Star Wars Skeleton Crew, a new look at Connie Nielsen and Joseph Quinn in Gladiator 2, new behind-the-scenes look at Stranger Things Season 5, first behind-the-scenes teaser and first look at Jenna Ortega and Emma Myers returning for Wednesday Season 2, a new look at Ted Danson and A Man on the Inside releasing in November on Netflix. Do you remember what that one is?
Yeah.
Follows a man hired by a PI to work as a mole at a retirement home suspected of elder abuse. It's going to be gold. Mike Schur's creating it, and he did so perfect with A Good Place. A new look at Lee Byung-hun and Lee Jung-jae from Squid Game Season 2. First looks at Bridgerton Season 4. First look at Yaren Ha and Luke Thompson. First look at Mickey 17. Robert Pattinson, Naomi Ackie, Stephen Yeun, Mark Ruffalo, and Toni Collette casted in it. It's Bong Joon-ho's new movie. Follows a man who works for a corporation that requires him to go on suicide missions and die, but everything changes when one of his multiples survives. It's a comedy. It looks hilarious. First look at Don't Move follows a woman who must escape a serial killer within 20 minutes until her body completely shuts down. Produced by Sam Raimi and directed by Adam Schindler and Brian Netto. First look at the animated Magic the Gathering series. Terry Matalas from Star Trek Picard will serve as showrunner, and it's coming soon to Netflix. And I forgot to put it on here, but we got the new look, of course, with the trailer from Brothers. Hilarious. In terms of box office earnings, Speak No Evil opened with $11.5 million domestically against a budget of $15 million. Alien Romulus has become the highest-grossing horror movie of all time at IMAX theaters. And Transformers 1 opened with $3.4 million in domestic previews, which is Thursday, and then earns an additional $9.5 million in the film's domestic opening day. That's just including Friday.
Yeah.
Now estimated to only earn around $25 million in its opening weekend. Could lose the number 1 spot to Beetlejuice, and its budget was $75 million.
Which, hey, only making a third in the opening weekend is not bad.
That's not bad at all. We got the return of Glenn Powell news, new look at Chad Powers, and new announcements. M. Night Shyamalan reveals he has begun developing his new movie by showing a picture of a notebook saying, "This is the notebook for movie 17. James Cameron is set to direct Last Train from Hiroshima as soon as Avatar production allows him to, which means we're not going to get it for another 20 years. The film follows the man who survived the atomic blast at Hiroshima, got on a train to Nagasaki, and then survived a nuclear explosion in that city. I've heard of that story. All jokes aside, I feel like I'm going to like that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Onslaught, Adria Arjona is set to star in and executive produce the film for A24 with Adam Wingard set to direct. Described as a gonzo action horror thriller that follows a mother who falls back on a particular set of skills when an unknown threat escapes a military base. The live-action Sims movie is officially moving forward with a theatrical release. Margot Robbie is producing with Kate Herron directing. Baz Luhrmann is set to direct a Joan of Arc movie for Warner Brothers titled Jeanne d'Arc, described as, quote, the ultimate teenage girl coming-of-age story set in the 100 Years of War.
Has anyone been cast yet?
No.
For that one? Because, just the other day,
Chapel Roan.
Jenna Ortega.
Oh. she was based... It's VMA's thing.
Yeah. The other day, Jenna Ortega, I think, had a quote where she said that there's one dream role for her. It's Joan of Arc.
Office romance. Jennifer Lopez and Brett Goldstein will star in a new rom-com for Netflix. The next live-action Transformers movie will be the Transformers G.I. Joe crossover movie. A new animated cyberpunk series is in the works on Netflix. Terrifier 4 is in the works. The Chosen, a series about the life of Jesus Christ, will be turning into a cinematic universe featuring a Joseph limited series, a 3-season Moses series, an Acts of the Apostles series, and a Jesus animated series that follows Jesus' interactions with children in the wild, starring Paul Walter Hauser. A CG Underdog animated series reboot is in the works. I believe we said it's from France or Italy.
Yeah.
And then a nonsense Christmas with Sabrina Carpenter, the first ever Sabrina Carpenter holiday special featuring unexpected duets and comedic guests, releasing December 6th on Netflix. A correction from last week. I said that season 4B of Emily Paris was going to be its last one. No, it's been renewed for season 5. I don't know where I heard that. We got one more piece of Lego news. Star Wars, the UCS Jabba's sail barge has been officially revealed. It'll be 3,942 pieces, retailing for $499.99, releasing on October 3rd. For a UCS, I believe that's a good piece to price ratio.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got some anniversaries for you.
Yes.
September 15th was the 47th anniversary of Bugsy Malone and the 15th anniversary of Scribblenauts on the DS, as well as the 9th anniversary of Undertale on PC.
Scribblenauts.
September 16th was the 40th anniversary of Punky Brewster and the 40th anniversary of Miami Vice, as well as the 21st anniversary of The Simpsons Hit and Run on GameCube, PS2, and Xbox, and the 22nd anniversary of Kingdom Hearts on PS2. September 17th was the 25th anniversary of For the Love of the Game, the 15th anniversary of Community, and the 3rd anniversary of Deltarune Chapter 2 on PC.
Oh, Community is so good.
September 18th was the 73rd anniversary of Streetcar Named Desire, the 26th anniversary of Rush Hour, the 15th anniversary of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, and the 60th anniversary of The Addams Family with Sean, like the old show with John Astin.
How much was the Rush Hour?
26.
Dadgum.
Yep, 1998. September 19th was the 10th anniversary of The Maze Runner, the 34th anniversary of Goodfellas, the 21st anniversary of Secondhand Lions, which that's an old favorite of mine. Have you ever watched it?
I think that's the one with Michael Caine and shoot.
He's Sent to Live with his great uncles.
Yeah. He was in the Robert Duvall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever
I haven't seen it, but I know of it.
It's so good. It is such an old. It's like an old favorite of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I wore our DVD out, but you said Robert Duvall. Anytime I hear Robert Duvall's name, all I can think of is the way Seth Green says it in Family Guy during the whole bit of "I did not care for the Godfather." He's like Robert Duvall. Just anyway. September 19th was also the 19th anniversary of How I Met Your Mother, and I wouldn't have included it because 19 is such a weird number, except for that it is also the 35th anniversary of Doogie Howser.
Yep, so I heard that on Sirius XM the other day.
So two of probably the biggest marks in Neil Patrick Harris's career premiered on the same day. So that's pretty cool. September 20th was the 28th anniversary of The First Wives Club, the 25th anniversary of Law & Order SVU, which feels like it's been on for longer than that, but then Law & Order has also been around for a long
30,
time. Yeah, it's
30-something.
30-something. It was also the 40th anniversary of Who's the Boss, which is getting a revival / reboot in the works.
Is that the one with Tony Danza?
Yeah, it's the one with Tony Danza as he becomes a Manny. You know Melissa and Joey? The old show, Melissa, I say old, it's like 2015 show. Mm-hmm. It was Melissa Joan Hart, and I can't remember the guy that played Joey. Anyway, it's about a woman that hires a live-in maid, ends up being a man, and then they end up falling in love. It's the same exact premise except with Tony Danza, and I cannot remember the actress's name, as well as a young Melissa Milano. Or Alyssa Milano. It only ever released the first season on DVD, and my parents owned it. My sister and I watched the heck out of it, and then one day it was put on streaming. The whole series, first time it had ever been on streaming as a whole. I think it's on Hulu. Yeah. When I tell you the memory lane, I'm like, and I haven't seen the second season had some reruns on TV Land because I was watching the second season. I'm like, I've seen this episode before, but past that, I have no memory of anything else. So getting to watch a series I've only watched the same 22 episodes over and over again was. Yeah. Anyway, it's also so funny because it's like the whole, even from the first season, you're like, oh, no, these two are supposed to get together. But the whole show is just them having oh, no, we have to sleep in the same bed because, we have to act like we're married because it's good for a business deal. And anyway, where you're like, just get married. 5th anniversary of Link's Awakening on Switch was also September 20th. And then September 21st was the 12th anniversary of The Perks of Being a Wallflower, the 26th anniversary of King of Queens.
Yes.
And the 30th anniversary of Touched by an Angel, as well as the 20th anniversary of the U.S. release of Katamari Damacy on PS2, as well as the 20th anniversary of the U.S. release of Monster Hunter on the PS2.
King of Queens still has my favorite Kevin James joke wherever he's, and it's earlier on, I think it's season 1, where they're playing how many staples can you shoot into the can?
I think it's the first episode of season 2, I think.
Season 2. And he shoots a staple into like his crotch.
Isn't the name of that episode like Mixed Nuts or something
Yeah,
like that?
yeah. So and then like they go to like sign papers at the bank or something, and he's like trying to get to the hospital, and he's just like profusely sweating because like he doesn't want to draw what's wrong. And then she's just like the bank's like slamming down the table, and he goes profusely sweating.
Just that whole show, and that is probably like Jerry Stiller.
Oh,
such a comedic,
peace.
comedic actor, and that is some of his best deliveries probably in that show, in my opinion. Of course, this is all my opinion, but
they go to order pizza, and he's like, "No, let's order from a little local joint, Domino's."
And then he's like, "Okay, give me the number," and he's like, 16.
We have to cut birthdays again this week because I got a lot of awards.
Gonna talk about the Emmys.
Yes, first up. Toronto International Film Festival had its awards ceremony Sunday.
Oh, yep, that's right.
The People's Choice Award went to The Life of Chuck. People's Choice Documentary Award went to The Tragically Hip No Dress Rehearsal. People's Choice Midnight Madness Award went to The Substance. Platform Award went to They Will Be Dust. Best Canadian Feature Film Award went to Shepherds. Best Canadian Discovery Award went to Universal Language. The 2024 Shortcuts Award, which are short films. The Best International Short Film went to Deck 5B. Best Canadian Short Film went to Are You Scared to Be Yourself Because You Think That You Might Fail. The NetPack Award went to The Last of the Sea Women. The Frapesci Award went to Mother Mother. And fun fact, Honora was runner-up in People's Choice Award, and it's become the second film in history to be both the Palme d'Or winner at the Venice Film Festival and the runner-up for TIFF's People's Choice Award. The first one to do this was Parasite, which went on to be Best Picture.
Yeah.
And Best Director and Best International Feature Film at the Oscars that year. Emmys was also Sunday. I didn't get to watch it. Hosted by Eugene Levy and Dan Levy, and I saw somebody. The best joke was like Dan was like across from the. Did you see that one?
I did not.
And he's like over here. He's like, we're supposed to present this presenter, and like, where's Dad at? And he's like, I'm over here, and the camera's like, and they find him, and he's like on the aisle across from everything. He's like, they told me to come to this house. I was like, no, house right. You're on stage right. You're supposed to be over here with me. It's like, okay, we'll just present. You see like Dan Levy in the foreground, you just in the background. And Dan Levy he says his line, and there's like a break, and he goes, Dad, it's your line. He's like, I can't read the teleprompter from here. Hacks won Best Comedy Series, which surprisingly beat out The Bear. It also won Best Lead Actress in a Comedy for Jean Smart and Best Writing for a Comedy Series for the episode Bulletproof. Shogun won Best Drama Series, as expected. Best Lead Actor in a Drama for Hiroyuki Sanada. Best Lead Actress in a Drama for Anna Sawai. And Best Directing for a Drama Series for the episode Crimson Sky. Baby Reindeer won Best Limited or Anthology Series. Best Lead Actor in a Limited or an Anthology Series or Movie for Richard Gadd. Best Supporting Actress in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie for Jessica Gunning. And Best Writing for a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie.
Can't wait for the sequel, Magic Snowman.
The Traders won Best Reality Competition Program. The Daily Show won Best Talk Series. Last Week Tonight with John Oliver won Best Scripted Variety Series, which he started talking about his dog. Did you see that? Mm-hmm. And they cut him off. He's like, fun fact, he just died. So, yeah. The Bear won Best Lead Actor in a Comedy Series for Jeremy Allen White. Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series for Eben Moss Bachrach. Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series for Liza Colin-Zayas. And Best Directing for a Comedy Series for the episode Fishes, which won a lot of the technical awards.
Isn't that
That's the one with like Bob Odenkirk and John Bernthal and Sarah Paulson. And
I think we even called way back like.
Oh yeah, it was like getting one of the best.
Yeah, when it premiered.
I think it is the most awarded episode.
I think when it premiered, we were like, oh yeah, that's an Emmy winner right there.
Yeah.
So.
True Detective Night Country, Best Lead Actress in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie went to Jodie Foster. The Morning Show, Best Supporting Actor in a Drama went to Billy Crudup. Best Supporting Actress in a Drama went to Elizabeth Debicki from The Crown. Fargo, Lamorne Morris won Best Supporting Actor in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie, which happy for him. Ripley won Best Directing for a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie. Slow Horses won Best Writing for a Drama Series for the episode Negotiating with Tigers. Alex Edelman, Just for Us, won Best Writing for a Variety Special. And some fun facts. The Bear broke its own record for the most Emmy wins ever for a single comedy season for season 2. And the Shogun has won a total of 18 Emmys, an all-time record for a single season of TV overall. You got anime?
Yes, I do actually have quite a bit of anime, especially since I've started, probably expect this, because anime was very short before, but now I've started like actually be able to find a good source.
Yeah.
So The live-action One Piece series had a big. That was probably the biggest part of Geeked Week for Netflix this week. Let's see, some of the stuff they showed a glimpse at the first table read, which was cool. Some other behind-the-scenes stuff was shown off, but the biggest things were that Joe Manganiello was cast as Mr. Zero, or spoiler alert for a 25-year-old series, Crocodile, as well as Lara Abova was cast as Miss All Sunday, or spoiler alert for a 25-year-old series, Nico Robin.
Yeah.
Which great casting.
They're just nailing the casting. Like you got Joe Manganiello and Katie Seagal in the same season.
Yeah, it's
Woo!
I am now more excited, especially for season 2 more than I already was, especially because additionally a brief glimpse was given for future Straw Hat Pirate Tony Chopper. No casting has been given for the character at this time. I'm kind of hoping that both in English and Japanese, because in the Japanese language they are dubbed over by the actors that voice them in the anime. I'm hoping that they keep the English voice actor for Chopper for and this the way they kept Tails for the Sonic movies.
Yeah. Just
because I'm like, she just does such a good job. We also got another teaser for Batman vs. Yakuza League, which looked pretty cool. Konosuba, God's Blessing on This Wonderful World, Season 3 OVA is officially in production. It's basically an OVA. It's basically just an additional standalone episode that will be included in the Season 3 episode lineup. Season 3 is already aired, so it's just like a bonus thing that we're getting. An anime adaptation of Kiryu Fan Club has been announced. The series, created by Chikyu no Osakana, Ponchan, follows two classmates who declare each other rivals when they discover they have a crush on the same boy, who does not realize either girl likes him. Solo Leveling Season 2 officially premieres January 2025. Sword Art Online Alternative Gun Gal Online Season 2 premieres October 4th. Upcoming anime I May Be a Guild Receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out on time premieres January 25th. Alina Clover signed up to be a receptionist for the Adventurers Guild, thinking it would be her ticket to the good life. Stable pay, regular hours, and a safe workplace conditions. Unfortunately, her dream gig turns into a nightmare of endless paperwork and overtime when the adventurers she helps coordinate get stuck clearing a dungeon. But people aren't made to grind forever, so Alina sneaks off at night to give the monsters holding things up a beatdown, courtesy of her massive warhammer. Keeping this all under wraps to avoid violating her office's ban on second jobs is difficult, especially when the tales of her exploits start to spread. But Alina somehow manages to keep her identity safe until the leader of the strongest party in the guild catches her defeating a boss one fateful night. Does Alina have what it takes to stop her life from going topsy-turvy? Upcoming rom-com anime, I'm Getting Married to a Girl I Hate in My Class, has announced a premiere window of January 2025. The story of the series follows Saito Hojo, a elite young man who is poised to inherit his grandfather's major corporation. Through an unexpected series of events, Hojo ends up getting married to Akane Sakuramori, the young lady whom he dislikes the most in his school. Although Akane is like a nemesis to Hojo in the classroom, will their life as newlyweds take a different turn? Ameku MD Dr. Detective premieres January 2025, based on the manga by Mikito Chinen. I did not get a synopsis with that, but the title sounds interesting. Fate Strange Fate premieres in November of 2024. The anime adaptation of the webtoon Dark Moon, The Blood Altar, was announced. The anime adaptation of May I Ask for One Final Thing has announced a release window of 2025 based on Nana Otori and Satsuki's light novels of the same name. In the middle of a ball, Scarlett's fiancé Kyle suddenly calls off their engagement. She's falsely accused of being a bully, and people unfairly call her a villainess. The aristocrats and noble families who all denounce her. For years, she had to put up with this abuse and idiocy, but she can't take any more of it. At her wit's end, she asks for one last favor: to give him a good fist in the face. So begins Scarlett's story of revenge against Kyle and his cronies, a fantasy about an elegant yet rebellious fighter who doesn't let anyone take advantage of her. Upcoming anime Be the Hero X releases in 2025. Saka Mikami's romantic comedy manga, The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity, will receive an anime adaptation releasing in 2025. A new anime titled Virgin Punk was announced for a 2025 release. The second season of Unite Up, titled Unite Birth, will premiere in 2025. Kami Irami God App Season 2 premieres October 2nd. Alia Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian Season 2 was officially announced to be in production. An anime adaptation of the party game Murder Mystery of the Dead has been announced. And finally, a Paltabor EZY anime has been announced for a 2026 release window. In the comics news, Marvel, we got the first look at the upcoming What If Mickey and Friends became the Fantastic Four comic series.
Yes.
From writers Riccardo Secchi and Steve Belling and artist Lorenzo Pastrovicchio, releases this January. DC, Batman The Dark Patterns, a new 12-issue miniseries from writer Dan Waters and artist Hayden Sherman, has been announced. Issue 1 releases this December. The series will focus on 4 self-contained street-level early-year Batman stories, the first of which focuses on a series of gruesome murders. A limited series focusing on Two-Face has been announced from writer Christian Ward and artist Fabio Veres, in which Harvey Dent and his other personality act and begin acting as a lawyer for Batman villains such as Victor Zsasz. Issue 1 releases December 4th. Metamorpho will be receiving his own series from writer Al Ewing and artist Steve Leiber, releases this Christmas. And finally, an Ernest comic graphic novel titled Ernest and the Dreamstone launched on Kickstarter and surpassed its $35,000 goal within 30 hours.
Yes.
From writer Corey Perkins and artist M. Aria Frusanto, this will be Ernest's first new adventure in 25 years.
Rip Jim Varney.
When Ernest finds an object known as the Dreamstone, which can conjure its user's dreams and nightmares into reality, he accidentally summons the evil Dr. Otto, also a character played by Jim Varney in the film Dr. Otto and the Riddle of the Gloombeam, whom he must defeat.
I love that.
I am a huge... I love the Ernest
Ernest
movies so much. I need to find... There's like a collection of all of them on DVD I need to get, because all my DVDs and VHS tapes are just like worn out or gone or lost or whatever. I had a collection. It wasn't even movies. It was just a collection of all his commercials. And like he had one series called like The World as I See It, and it's just like Jim Varney just being like, hello there.
Yeah.
Let me show you the world as I see it. And then it's like Ernest getting hurt doing something. Anyway.
God, my favorite, I think one of the hardest times I've seen my dad laugh was when we watched Ernest Rides Again. And specifically the cannon part.
Dude, the cannon scene is so funny.
He's riding backwards on the cannon. Oh, Ernest is so good. I love him.
I can't remember which one it is, but it's when Ernest and then the convict that looks like him. Like,
is that Ernest Goes to Jail?
It might be Ernest Goes to Jail.
Ernest Goes to Camp. No, it's not.
Ernest Goes to Camp is the first one that had like.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ernest movies are just so good. I know for the longest time after Jim Varney died, they were trying to find like a new actor to play a character called the son of Ernest, and it was going to be a reboot. I
mean, they're obviously not making it, but I've heard some people say, and it hasn't been recently, that John Cena kind of,
he kind of looks. He also kind of like has this look on his. Like he can do kind of the facial expressions where he could.
And he does comedy
kind of look like Jim Varney, where it's like, although
I don't know if he can do the voice.
But imagine rebooting Ernest with John Cena, so it's instead of instead of being this skinny, redneck guy, it's Ernest as a himbo.
Oh, it'd be so funny because John Cena is so hilarious.
It would be so funny, but at the same time, it's one of those things where it feels like Ernest is just untouchable, except apparently in comic form, because I am backing this. Yeah. It has like 20.
Send me that
as
link.
of recording, it has like 26 days left of being able to back it. I'll send you the link later.
Send me that link because I'm gonna back it.
Dude, Ernest is just the amount of times I drove my parents crazy watching those movies. Ernest Saves Christmas.
It's so good. Actually, I think that's the one that I haven't seen.
That's the one you haven't seen? Dude, that one's so good.
I have all of them on DVD.
And it's also in my, like, if I'm ever made like a top, if we ever ranked movie Santas, the Ernest Saves Christmas Santa would probably be up there. I did not expect, of all things, when researching comic news to find an Ernest, because there's some where it's like, this issue 1 of this came out, it's like, oh, cool. Ernest?
You sent me that message. I was like, excuse me?
Coming in?
I got some Marvel and DC news. I'm going to start with the Marvel because obviously the big one's going to be DC. Marvel, Agatha All Along for the 4th week in a row on the pod. Of course, it had its 2-episode series premiere. We talked about that earlier. Venom The Last Dance has its 3rd week on the pod. The popcorn bucket has been revealed. It looks like a really cool Venom, just tongue out and everything. We also got a new poster for it. We got the first poster for Lego Marvel Avengers Mission Demolition, releasing October 18th on Disney+. And for the 19th week in a row, mainstay of the pod, Deadpool and Wolverine, has become the 5th highest grossing comic book movie ever, passing the Avengers. Just think, if we had not have accidentally brought it up last week, I would have lost kicking myself with this.
So what we have to do though, the next week where there is no news, we need to plan some like funeral or something.
Moment of silence.
Moment
like a
of
20-second moment of silence or whatever we get.
Like the movie that got us started, that made us go, hey, we should talk about this.
Exactly. And now this next one is going to be... And that's all my Marvel news. And DC news for Joker Folie à Deux for the 5th week in a row on the pod. Got a new clip and the final trailer. We got the first clip was released of Superman, the Christopher Reeve story. Couple Batman news for Batman Day is today. A crossover video with Shadow the Hedgehog as Batman has been released to celebrate Batman Day.
It was so cool.
It is awesome. The Batman 2, we got some news. Matt Reeves said he isn't sure if Greg Fraser will be returning as cinematographer for the Batman 2, saying, quote, I certainly hope that the timing will work out for that, but I actually don't know. I hope he does.
I hope so, dude. The scene,
that's one of my favorite.
The scene with Penguin's point of view after the car crash.
Yes.
That alone.
Both him coming through the flames and then also when he's upside down and you just see him walking.
Yeah.
And the scene is one that everyone points out, but he's holding the flare and like the people are following him. Oh my goodness. The cinematography and the score are honestly my favorite parts of that entire movie over any acting thing. So it is so good. And the acting is I'm not saying acting is horrible. The acting is amazing. But those two
the cinematography and the score alone just yeah.
I rewatched it Thursday before the Penguin came out. It's so good.
I haven't watched it since I watched it in theaters.
I hadn't before,
and I need to watch it again just to.
Yeah, when we were at the hotel in Rogers for the Lego store, I caught like the last 20 minutes on the hotel TV, but I haven't watched it in full until Thursday.
I forgot to do the research for the things you sent me.
Oh
man,
talk about that. I didn't do it, but yeah. And Matt Reeves reveals that Oz Cobb will be one of the entry points into the Batman 2. The movie will jump to a specific, quote, period of time. They already said it's going to lead directly into Batman 2.
Yeah.
And the script is finished and filming begins early next year. And in terms of the Batman universe, for the 3rd week in a row on the pod, Matt Reeves explains his approach for the Batman trilogy, saying, quote, we wanted to make sure these stories remain Batman and Bruce-centric. They are detective stories where he's at the center of a mystery that he has to get to the core of. And then the biggest DC news this week, we finally got the release or the premiere of The Penguin on HBO, the spinoff of the Batman with Colin Farrell coming back unrecognizably. I told someone this. I'm like, you can't tell that's Colin Farrell. The only thing I noticed, like a couple minutes in, he did like a weird, like where he goes, like a weird wink thing and a nod. I'm like, I've seen Colin Farrell do that.
Yeah.
That's the only bit of Colin Farrell that shines through that.
My dad and I, when we went and watched that in theaters, we did not know Colin Farrell was in it. So we were, because we knew everybody else. We were like, oh yeah, Paul Dano is Riddler.
Jeffrey Wright, Andy Serkis, Zoe Kravitz. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's like, who is that? And then it's like,
that's Colin Farrell. Unrecognizable. It's so good. I love the Penguin so much already as like a character.
It's such a good performance. It makes me forgive the fact that they thought Cobblepot was too ridiculous to make that his last name.
The Penguin's name has changed from Oswald Cobblepot to Oz Cobb. They don't call him Oz. They say Oz a lot.
Yeah.
Which of course, you're not going to say the last name. Much.
But
at least in the first episode. In the Batman universe to make the character more grounded. First look at Mark Strong as Carmine Falcone, which I forgot. I was like, I saw that. I'm like, but then I saw him like, oh yeah, he's been recast, which I don't know why John Turturro didn't return.
Probably is he younger than he was?
It's flashback. It's for flashbacks.
So it's probably
because Sophia.
Oh yeah, Sophia is
like the second lead in this show. More on that later because she's amazing. We got the first clip before the episode came out, and then they released a Gotham Gazette newspaper, 4 pages of it digitally. Revealing events that take place between the Batman and the Penguin. It is revealed that it is set a week after the events of the Batman.
A week after the flood.
Because they say that and like they show a bunch of news stuff in the beginning.
And there's a lot of hints
There
and
is
Easter eggs in those clips that you sent me. Like there's one where it's a middle-aged woman who is seeking a partner who doesn't mind that her friend, her middle-aged son and his friend, like even in quotes, it's like friends.
That's after watching that. That's Oswald's mom. I watched it immediately after it dropped. It is so good. Of course, the first 4 episodes are going to be over an hour long.
Yeah,
but not.
And then are the last 2 movie length?
I don't know about that.
There's one series coming out with like the last
Stranger Things
couple.
was like that.
Was that Stranger Things?
Season 4.
Stranger Things.
I'm just going to read a little bit of the review I posted online. Of course, Colin Farrell is unrecognizable. He's so good. I was so excited for it. I love almost everything Matt Reeves touches, and the one created in the movie had me very excited for any project we got set in that universe. The episode blew me away. And I love how you're immediately thrown back into the seedy underbelly of Gotham. Did a really good job of showing how the events of the film affected the poor and underdeveloped parts of Gotham that were already struggling but not having to deal with this. Big breakout in this. She's a star already. Mm-hmm. Kristen Milioti as Sophia Falcone. I've said this on the pod. You could tell in her eyes. Of course, she's a former Arkham inmate.
Yeah.
And now she's back in the society. You can tell in her eyes that she's still crazy.
Yeah, she's still got something going on there. Yeah.
And I want to read what Discussing Film, the shout out to them, what they said, because I quoted this. Quote, from her tense intro to Dinner with Oz, Milioti is portraying Sophia as both insane and 2 steps ahead of everyone at the same time, which she very much is, but also so is Oz. So this is very much a mob type show. It's a slow burn. Mm-hmm. So if you're going into it looking for action, there's not a lot in it, but it's very much mind games.
But as someone
with each other.
As someone who enjoys the more detective-y aspect of the DC, when I read DC comics, some of my favorites are the ones that are more a slower. There's one where it's not a lot of action that actually came out recently. I say recently. I think the last issue came out earlier this year, but I didn't get to read it until it's called Superman Lost, and Superman disappears into a wormhole for a day, but when he but for everyone else it's been a day. But for him it's been 30 years. Yeah. But then he hasn't aged or anything because of science and stuff. And then it flashes back to that 30 years as well as how he's coping now, and it's so good because there's not a lot of Superman fighting stuff. There is some of it, but a lot of it is just you watch Superman just slowly struggle as he's trying to get home in a galaxy he doesn't even know how far away he is.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's so good. And so just the slower stories like that.
Oh yeah. And this is it's a character study of the Penguin, but also not.
Yeah.
Because
it's also doing things to set up the rest of the Reeves verse, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
It is so good. I'm so excited for the rest of this series. I think it's 8 episodes. It's either 8 or 9. I believe 8. I'm so excited for the rest of this. Every Thursday, I'm going to be there on the couch at 8 p.m. Actually, no. It's every Sunday.
Every Sunday?
The next episode is the 29th.
29th?
On a usual Sunday.
Okay. They just did an early premiere for...
Yeah. For Thursday. And that is all I got for news this week. In celebrity deaths, we got Tito Jackson. He was 70, founding member of the Jackson 5. Emily Gold, she was 17, America's Got Talent contestant who competed with her high school dance team. J.D. Souther, he was 78, songwriter for the Eagles and Linda Ronstadt. David Graham, he was 99, Peppa Pig star and voice of the Daleks on Doctor Who. And Catherine Crosby, she was 90, actress and wife of Bing Crosby. My sources this week were Deadline, Movie Insider, Toronto International Film Festival website, Telegraph, Hollywood Reporter, Variety, SFX Magazine, New York Times, The Direct, IGN, BFI, Collider, Letterboxd, People, Empire, comicbook.com, at AP Entertainment, The Guardian, and also my big one, Discussing Film.
My sources this week were Discussing Film, IGN, Indie Informer, Game Pressure, VentureBeat, Crunchyroll, comicbook.com, and all official sites and socials of the studios mentioned today. And now,
the highly anticipated
Part 4 of 5.
God, this is already coming to an end. I'm so sad.
Of the ranking movies based on how good they would be if remade with the Muppets.
Next up
is To Kill a Mockingbird. So To Kill a Mockingbird very, very good book. I love
absolutely.
the book so much. I would, if I were to have, like, I'd never thought about what my favorite books of all time are, other than the fact that I'm a Charles Dickens fan and A Christmas Carol and Oliver Twist are just up there. But I would say To Kill a Mockingbird book-wise is up there. Movie-wise, that is one of the most, you took such
I haven't seen
it's just, the movie is considered is like a classic, and this is where I might be in the minority on this, where I'm like, the book is basically very little of what the book's point of view actually is, because it is a court case and all sorts of other like topical issues from the angle of a coming to age story over a summer, from the view of like a 10-year-old girl, 12-year-old girl, however old she was. And they just took the court part of it and made that into a movie, and then the other characters happen to be but it's just not.
They made it into a court drama,
and it's even at that, it's a boring court drama. It's not even like the book is like, the court parts of the book are so good, and it's just, I don't know.
Who would we?
And here's the thing: remaking this with Muppets is because like
Dangerous
some
Waters.
of the subject matter.
Yeah.
That we.
I think we keep whoever played Atticus.
You think we keep Atticus?
Or do we keep the girl?
Finch, or do we keep? Because then that's like what?
Or do we keep Boo Radley? No, Boo Radley has to be a Muppet.
Yeah, Boo Radley has to be a Muppet.
Thing is, I don't remember a lot more characters.
I think this one's going to be a hard to cast one, even though the idea is funny of Muppets doing a court drama.
Yeah.
But of all the court dramas to pick, this might not have been
the best one.
This is probably of all the movies on the list, this was the only one where I wasn't quite looking forward to going like, how are we spin this? Because it's not a matter of, would it be interesting if the Muppets did it? It's like, yeah, it would be if they were like adapting the book or something.
Yeah.
But it's
not the movie.
And so,
do we relegate this to D tier, above Saw?
I'd say,
or is it below Saw?
We low C.
Low C.
Low C.
So
I know we didn't
50
talk
Shades of
about
Grey?
casting it much, but it's just because like
it's hard to do.
It's hard to do. Maybe Kermit and Atticus Finch.
Yeah.
That'd probably be the only Muppet you could choose that would be able, without it like turning into so much of a comedy that the point of the movie is lost.
Which that's what we decided. If the point of like in the tone of the movie is going to shift from what it is,
it will lower it a little bit. But if it's made even funnier, like
then it will,
John Wick,
yeah,
it
exactly,
absolutely goes up. So yeah. After that we have Major League.
I have not seen this.
So you've not seen Major League?
No, I know it has what, Charlie Sheen?
Yes. Sports comedy about. I mean, it's got Charlie Sheen, Wesley Snipes. Amongst
do you keep Wesley
others.
Snipes and have him play with Muppets? I haven't seen.
Well, I would probably
a lot of this.
No, you would keep
this.
Tom Berenger. Tom Berenger. Phonetics is failing me. Tom Berenger. He's the main character. Mm-hmm. He's the veteran catcher with bad knees that like teaches like comes in to mentor the other. It's his last chance to be successful. He takes some rookies under his wing. He would be the human you keep, and then he's trying to get these Muppets.
A Muppet of baseball team.
It's a baseball comedy. It's already a baseball comedy with Charlie Sheen and Corbin Burnson.
Are you thinking like High B?
I'd probably say because it would be.
Because I haven't seen it.
A baseball comedy with the Muppets would be funny.
Yeah,
especially because the physical. Anyway,
exactly.
So like
or low A.
And I know we aren't specifically casting these. That's just because some of these are like we're starting to get into points where I vaguely remember watching them.
Yeah.
So
and a lot of these for this week, I have not seen or haven't seen in a while.
So I would go ahead though, and say this is probably in B territory.
B.
Yeah. I know we're putting a lot in B, but we were putting in a lot in A for a while. So
we were.
After that, we have The Green Mile.
Oh, no. I think we have to keep Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah. Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks is Kermit. That's the only, like, Kermit. And see, this is the sad thing. I don't think any of our movies have Kermit and Tom Hanks in the same movie, which would almost, it might implode the universe, the amount of, like,
Tom Hanks and Kermit.
well-meaning individuals in one.
We don't have another one with
We
Tom
don't.
Hanks.
So yeah, we keep.
We have to keep
Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah.
We have to, and then everyone else is a Muppet.
Yeah.
And this is also another one of those where the movie is so serious that I don't know would it be too disrespectful to make it into what Muppets inevitably make things a comedy.
Exactly. Are we thinking C tier for that as well? Just because it would change so much?
Probably, but I feel like it would be like, man, that'd be such an Oscar-winning movie if only it starred Tom Hanks. You know, one of those things.
Is this what goes through my mom's mind every time I see a movie that doesn't have Tom Hanks in it?
If only it had Tom Hanks in it.
So we're thinking C tier, high C, or
High
like
C.
It's not Muppet porn, but
Okay.
Boogie Nights. I'm not
know.
I'm not talking about 50 Shades of Grey.
I know Boogie Nights, but I'm just like, oh man, you get back down there, boy.
Every day, every week.
I'm keeping an eye on you.
Next up is the OG Crow.
Yeah, the original Crow, which
I
man,
also
it
have
has
not
been
seen.
it has been so long since I've watched it.
We're 0 for 4 right now in what I've seen.
We're almost 0 for 4 for me of being like, okay.
I think we have to keep Brandon Lee, obviously.
Oh yeah, and so then that turns into
Is that going to be like John Wick-ish? Or it'd make it like hilarious?
yeah. I mean, I guess it would kind of be.
It wouldn't
Just
be
a
quite
very
John
gritty,
Wick tier.
yeah, because it's just a little more gritty, so
Yeah.
a little more dark.
Yeah. Are we thinking A or maybe high B?
Yeah,
What are you thinking?
we'll go with low A.
Low A.
Just because this is once again just turning something super dark into something where Muppets are inevitably harmed, which is we have decided
It's hilarious.
is hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Just the idea of those poor the Muppet limbs just flailing
like
in
I
the
said,
wind.
somersaulting in John Wick, throwing Kermit off of a staircase or something. Next up is Twister.
Twister, the original Twister. So what are you thinking? Because I was going to leave this one to you.
I haven't seen this in at least 5 or 6 years. We're also talking about the OG Twister, not the new
not
one.
Twisters.
I would say it either has to be keep Helen Hunt and make the other one Kermit, or keep Bill Paxton and make the other one Miss Piggy.
Keep Helen Hunt.
Keep Helen Hunt.
Make the other one Kermit.
And then
And
you
then
got a whole thing of scientists here, so
yeah, so you just
Bunsen
got
and Beaker are gonna have a
Bunsen
big
Beaker,
role.
like just the Muppets are just all filling in
Yeah.
the other ensemble roles.
The cow.
Oh yeah, the cow is just a Muppet.
Just a Muppet cow.
And the thing, this is one of those
She's
things.
gonna actually say like, "Oh my!"
It's a Muppet. It's a Muppet disaster movie, which honestly,
Dare I say S tier?
this is probably S tier simply because the things the Muppets could do and still keep some of the serious parts.
Oh,
of
yeah. Like Helen Hunt fall in love with Kermit, or would you fall in love with Bunsen? Would Bunsen be the main character here?
No, Kermit.
Kermit. Should we say S tier?
Yeah, I say S tier.
Is it quite John Wick territory? S tier.
No. I don't think anything's going to top John Wick, honestly.
Fair.
It hasn't gotten.
Fair.
Nothing today has gotten us laughing as hard as the last
John
couple
Wick.
weeks.
Yeah.
So,
Should I put it before or after Princess Bride?
I say.
I don't think it's Home Alone to you either.
No, I'd say after Princess Bride
Before
because there's
Mamma
still
Mia.
some things about it where it's like But
Yeah.
the ideas of Muppets just dealing with tornadoes and
Yeah.
going through the whole. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
it's funny. Okay, after that we have Rocky.
Rocky.
Obviously, we keep Rocky Balboa.
We keep
Sylvester Stallone.
we keep the Polly.
Polly?
No, I'm kidding. We keep Sylvester Stallone.
We keep Sylvester Stallone.
Adrian is Miss Piggy.
Adrian is Miss Piggy.
Carl Weathers is Apollo Creed is,
Is Apollo Creed Fozzie?
and have Michael B. Jordan be his kid.
And have Michael B. Jordan. It's just when eventually it gets around to the Creed movies,
We will keep Sylvester Stallone still.
We keep Sylvester Stallone, and then Michael B. Jordan is still, and so it's the struggles of having the legacy of a Muppet as a father.
Have we not said this before? And then I swear we have.
We might have.
Oh, it's the Home Alone.
Oh yeah, Home Alone.
His father.
Yeah, because he's mistreated for being a human. Anyway, but back to the OG Rocky. This would just be. Once again, I see this as like it's a remake, but it would be like almost a parody of Rocky with Sylvester Stallone still playing it straight.
Yeah,
and
I think no lower than A.
No lower than A. Yeah.
I think we can't go B territory.
We want to go right in the center of A, like
we should
put it between
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and Lethal Weapon, or
right there.
Right there.
That works.
And for the last one, I believe it's the last one.
Let me see. Is this the last one? Yes, this is the last one. It's the Predator. So do we keep... Obviously, the Predator is still kept.
I thought Animal would be Predator.
Do we make a Muppet? Do we make a random Muppet Predator? Because it's Predator.
Animal.
It'll be like Alien. I think we talked about Alien before. We keep the Alien.
Not yet.
Oh, not yet?
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Spoiler
alert for Alien for next week. Alien is next week.
Do we keep...
I would say Friday 13th is what I meant. Like where you keep the monster, but also at the
Yeah.
same time we have Arnold
Schwarzenegger. But then, are there any other big characters besides those two?
I mean, yeah, there's the other people that get...
I haven't seen it.
This is another movie where if we keep the human character, I'd say we keep Predator, obviously, and we keep Arnie, and then everybody else is a Muppet. So the Muppets are just the poor victims.
Yeah.
You know,
Of the Predator.
turns a incredibly violent movie into cartoon violence, which is slightly better.
John Wick. as we've talked about before.
So
I'm leaving this on you because I have not seen the Predator.
And just the idea of the Predator looking at the heat signature, and you just see a
You can't see anything because they're not warm-blooded.
except for a hand.
It's meta.
So when it goes to the heat signature, it just sees a bunch of puppeteers like hiding under the set.
The Muppets themselves aren't harmed, but the puppeteers are. I want to say A tier.
A tier?
A tier.
Yeah.
How A should we go?
Put it behind James Bond. Because Muppet Spy Movie is still
right there.
Got a leg above it, yeah.
Okay.
So that's it for this week. Somehow we managed to stay under
2 hours.
2 hours unedited, so that's great.
We got some good ones next week for our finale.
Oh yeah, for the finale we got some good ones.
Oh yeah. For the Muppets tier list.
For the Muppets tier list.
You know what? Let us know if you have any tier list ideas.
Yeah.
Make them wacky. Make them themed if it's a certain month.
Because we try to put a spin on it. We haven't. If you notice, we haven't yet done just a straight up ranking of something.
Yeah.
So
give us, if you have any ideas, leave it in the comments.
Because we haven't really done something as wild as Disney princesses fighting babies, but we've still done funny things like ranking movie games based on vibes.
Yeah.
Things like that. I mean, obviously we did the games last month because of how crazy the month was.
Yeah.
So we will
give us some ideas.
Yeah, we will see what we can get churned out for October. Spooky month.
It's got to be spooky themed.
Oh yeah, got to be spooky themed sometime.
Yeah. I'm still looking forward to
Ranking jump scares. We're making Jay watch a bunch of jump scares.
Oh my goodness.
We'd have to get a camera for that one.
It would all be S tier. All be S tier. It'd be like the Muppets where they're all S tier.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening this week. Plug our socials.
Follow the follow the podcast on most social medias at Sir Stump.
I'm such a horrible co-host.
Follow the podcast on most social medias at Mondays for Nerds. You can follow me, Tristan Stump, at Sir Stubbs a lot and Sir Stubbs a lot 17 on most social medias. And Jay,
follow me at Twitter at PoeThePanda001. I'll try to throw some reviews on there.
Yeah.
For the occasional ones I drop.
Obviously, they've got to be shorter than his usual reviews because he's not going to pay for Twitter Premium
I'm not.
Get the super
or
long.
Follow me on Instagram, which I don't know what my Instagram handle is. Let me pull it up.
You should probably either make a new one at this point.
I mean, I use it a little bit.
You use it a little bit because I don't even know if I follow you on there. I probably do. Anyway, we will see you guys next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.